I am starting a trauma dump chain just because I think it's kind of funny. And anyways, I'm gonna go first. One time in the 7th grade, towards the end of the year, we were doing something, and one of the students in the class was one of the last ones to finish it, and we were trying to get it done like fast, and it was like a fun activity. And the kid just happened to be black, and at the time, I thought minority could mean like literally anything that singles out like a specific group. And so I said, "Oh look, so and so's the minority," trying to mean that he was the only one not finished. And the teacher and everybody just stared at me, and it was like 5 minutes of silence because I didn't realize that he was the only black kid in the class, and I called him a minority. Yeah, it still haunts me to this day, and I think about it, and I actually want to die.
Okay, so my turn. Please excuse my voice. Life has hit me with a cold, and it sucks. So in 4th grade, the students had to wear these white dresses for a religious event. I go to an inaugural school, by the way. But I got my period the day before, so I thought I just had a cut in my butt. But yeah, it wasn't a cut. So there was blood on my dress the next day, and I had to wear my regular school uniform for the event. But then later on, I found out that the situation had been texted to the other teachers in their group chat, and the notification ended up popping up on the screen of the other class. Alright, next person now.
Hello everyone. It is now my turn for this beautiful trauma dump chain. But anyway, this happened quite recently, probably like towards last year a bit, so not that far off, but so I was at school, it was lunchtime, I was just having fun, chilling with my friends, and then somehow, the gate was opened, and a group of teenage boys came in. When me and my friends saw this, we started to back off a bit, because, like, we're not gonna go up to a group of strangers, but then they spotted us, and started walking towards us, and then they grabbed their phones out and started to record. I don't know why, but I looked down at my friend that was younger than me, she's still in primary school, she was at the front of our group, and she was so scared that, like, her whole body was shaking, so I grabbed her hand and put her behind me. I turned around, all the boys were already, like, out my face, and then they grabbed my hand, started pulling me towards the gate, and, like, shoved my face onto the gate, and they were all laughing while recording. And I was screaming as loud as I can, and my friends were like, they were trying to get past and try and grab me, but everyone kept pushing them away, and one of them pulled out a knife and my eyes lit up, so I screamed so loud that everyone at lunch went quiet, and the teachers turned around and finally spotted, and the boys ran away. This, I think, is how the story goes. I don't fully remember, because I don't remember much, but I do remember one of them grabbing my arm. The worst thing is, I finally figured out who they were. They came from my old school, and they had spotted me, and I remember these guys were my bullies, so how very delightful that they paid another visit. But anyway, next person.
Alright, it's my turn now. So when I was in 4th grade, and it was the end of the year, and it was the last day, so we're all packing up, we're getting excited because we're all gonna hang out all summer. Well, I was friends with this guy that's named H, and H was in this back room where, lots of people would hang out, but it was just him and his friend there. And obviously, me and the guy I was dating at the time was sitting at the door, like near the door, because we were playing, like, Among Us on the computers. Anyways, we heard, like, yelling, but we didn't, like, do anything because we thought they were just, like, playing around, because that's what they do, they're boys. And then we heard a really loud scream, so we opened the door, and H has a whole stack of pins shoved into his hand, and turns out they were shoving each other and having an argument, and he put his hand down on the table, he got pins in his hand, and it went all through his hand, it went through some of his veins, and blood was eking out of his hand as he was ripping him out, and the other friend was crying. And that's how I became afraid of veins, and cutting my veins open. Next person.
Hi guys, sorry I've been quiet, it's the middle of the night right now, so, at my old school, we were just chilling, and you know, I'm one of those kids who try to refuse to do work, and, you know, draw instead, because I was the artist of that classroom, I got in trouble one time because I yelled at the teacher, and they took me to the second principal's office, and when I walked into the door, I realized that she was not kind when I first went there, and she started, like, grabbing my hand extremely tight, and she walked me into one of her classrooms, and she put on babies crying on the TV, and she said, "Look, that's you," and I was crying really badly, and she was pointing at the screen, and eventually, yeah, she did get reported, and she's still in that school. Oh man, it sucked.